So as I'm sure all you guys know, especially if you own the stock, Meta stock has been destroyed. Mark Zuckerberg went too all in on the metaverse way too early, and that really got a lot of investors to lose confidence. There was a lot of uncertainty around the company. The company went from being very profitable to still profitable, but obviously not as much, not as profitable, which we're going to talk about the numbers in this video. We're going to break down the chart in this video. We're going to go over, is Mark Zuckerberg stepping down? What's going on with that? We'll talk about whether or not that's a rumor, reality, all that stuff. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, guys. Hit that like button, and of course, make sure to subscribe, and let's dive into the video. So right off the bat, let's take a look here at the chart. We're going to break down, again, Meta, the numbers. We're going to talk about, again, Zuckerberg stepping down. So just in the past couple of months, we're talking from the beginning of April to where we are now, this stock is down about 52%. So just in about 6-7 months, it's cut in half. And if I pull up this hourly chart, or not the hourly chart, the yearly chart, you're going to see, wait a second, it is down way more than just that. It was at $352 back in December of just last year, guys. No joke. 11 months ago, Meta was at $352. So just like that, and that goes to show how quickly things could turn for the worse. Just like that, Meta stock went from $350 down to where it is now, $110, $111, which means it is down about 68%. And you guys know, just a couple weeks ago, after they reported numbers, the stock was at $88. So at one point, it was down, we're talking 75%. That is not good. Going from being one of the biggest companies, and it still is one of the biggest companies in the world, but going from being one of the biggest, safest companies to invest in, you'd think, right? A couple of years ago, going from that to, where it is now, that's pretty crazy. It goes to show it could happen to any company. It doesn't have to be a penny stock or, whatever speculative investment. It could happen to one of the biggest companies in the world, and it goes to show with Meta. And of course, a lot of this happened because Mark Zuckerberg decided to completely change the company, rebrand the company from Facebook to Meta. Now it's called Meta. He's going all in on the metaverse. And, well, that's lost a lot of confidence in investors. Uncertainty has come from that, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But first, let's look at the 3-year chart. The 3-year chart looks awful. The max chart looks like we're completely falling off a cliff. And at this point, guys, just to give you a little bit of insight here, Meta is trading. Are you ready for this? It's trading at, well, it was when it was at $88. Now, again, it's bounced to $111, but it is trading at a 7-year, almost 8-year low. That is unbelievable. Back in January, when was that? July of 2015, Meta was at $85 a share. And sure, there's been it's been a lot that's gone on, but 7 years, guys. 7 years ago, it was pretty much where it was, a couple days or, a couple weeks ago when it got to 88 a share. Even here at 110 a share, last time we were at 110 a share, when was that? Back in April of 2016. So that's still about 7 years ago, which is just unbelievable. So with that being said, that's a little breakdown of the chart here. Let's talk about the numbers. Well, actually, before we talk about the numbers, is Zuckerberg going to step down? We got this news a couple of days ago, I believe. Yeah, about a week ago, not even, a couple of days ago. And of course, news, in today's day and age, after 24 hours, things get stale. But I think this is still worth talking about. Meta spokesperson denies report of CEO, and of course, they're going to deny it, but they're denying the report of CEO Zuckerberg stepping down next year. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifies during a remote video hearing held by subcommittees of the U.S. House of Representatives, Energy and Commerce Committee, yada, yada, yada. This was back in March 25. That's not really, relevant, but that's the picture, I guess, right there. And this here says Andy Stone. He said this is false. You guys can see that. Mark Zuckerberg is set to resign next year. That came from here. Walter Bloomberg. It says here, I guess that was theleak.co is where that came from. So it makes sense. If he were to resign, I feel like it makes sense due to what's been going on with the company. Again, 75% down. He went too all in on the metaverse too early, lost a bunch of investors. So it makes sense from that angle. Okay, maybe if he steps down, investors are going to be like, all right, Facebook's going back to what it was, maybe not so crazy on the metaverse, and profits are going to, come in and, come back up, because obviously we'll talk about that in a second. Profits have come down in a major way. So, well, and on the flip side, you're thinking, okay, maybe it is the best step for Meta to do that. But on the flip side, Zuckerberg, I feel like, honestly, got them in this mess. He's going to have to get them out of the mess, right? And he's already looking to do that. He just, laid off 13% of the workforce. Again, I forget how many employees was that? 11,000, maybe something like that. Again, 13% of the workforce. So he said himself, I'm sorry, or something like that. This is my fault, something like that. So he is taking some accountability, but at the end of the day, only time will tell. I mean, is this going to be, and of course, he's not ditching the metaverse plan completely, but scaling back, I think, is a good idea, and we'll see how this goes over the next couple of quarters. Obviously, when we got that news, and I'm not sure if you guys knew, but going back to that chart, when we got that news that he is looking to, lay off a bunch of people, which at the end of the day, it sucks that people get laid off. I mean, they're losing their jobs, but it's good for the business, especially when the business is, their margins are coming down, their profits are coming down. It's good for them in the short term, and that really caused a big spike in the stock. That's kind of what started this rally from 88, 90, 95 bucks to where it got all the way to 120. I mean, this thing had an extraordinary rally of 35%, and now it's up about 26% from that 88 low, which is still up a ton. So what do you guys think? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the right move for Zuckerberg to resign personally. I mean, I feel like that is, I don't know. I mean, who would take his spot? That's the $1 million question. Who would take his spot? I feel like at this point, Zuckerberg got them in this mess. He's going to have to find a way to get them out and regain the confidence of shareholders. That's at least my take. So let's see here what's going on with these numbers, and I'll show you guys. Hey, it's not looking that good internally, especially over the past couple of quarters. So let's go to annual here and just see quickly, the crazy growth of this company. I mean, in 2016, they were doing, 27 billion in revenue. In 2017, they did 40 billion, 55 billion in 2018. Then in 2021, they did 118 billion. So if we look at how much they were doing about 10 years ago in revenue, they did about $5 billion in 2012, right? Which is insane considering, again, in 2021, they did $117 billion just about 10 years later. That goes to show how quick a business could grow in just a decade. And, of course, investing, a lot of it is, time in the market, of course. And if you're buying individual stocks, man, a lot of it is luck, getting in at the right time, picking up good shares of good companies at good prices. You got to take risk a lot of the time. And this is a business that if you invested in it years and years ago, man, you made an absolute killing, right? So revenue's growing. Even now, I mean, look at these growth rates recently. We're talking revenue growth, 37%, 26%, 21%. That is really strong there for Meta. But of course, the story here is, you can see here net income, right? EPS has come down a good amount. Actually, no, you can't see it on annual. We're going to have to come to quarterly for that. But you can see here, if we're looking at gross profit, that's come up the past couple of years. Operating income has come up, of course, past couple of years. EPS diluted, EPS basic, right? Both up. EPS growth there, it's pretty much growing every single year. Free cash flow, I mean, look at that. Free cash flow per share has been moving up very nicely. Gross margin has been pretty steady around 80-85%. Operating margin around 39%. Profit margin 33%. You guys see that? So if I change this to quarterly, you're going to really see the short-term struggles of the business, especially in the past couple of quarters. So if we look up here, all right, we saw, revenue growth explode in June 2021, 55%, September 35%, December 20%, and then here in June 2022, revenue growth was flat. September 2022, down 5%, right? You guys see that here at the top. And if we come down here, and that's just for revenue, if we come down here, net income growth, oh my goodness, that really started to drop in 2021, at the end of 2021. And then, of course, all these quarters throughout 2022, it's just gotten worse quarter after quarter after quarter, from negative 21% to negative 5% to negative 52%. And again, that is for the net income growth, which in this case is not growth, obviously. It's moving down. And if we come down here, EPS growth is not growth. It's moving down. Obviously, that's not good. And if we look here at, I forgot to look at operating income. I forgot to look at that. This is insane, right? So we have revenue, then we have cost of revenue, we have the gross profit, right? About $22 billion. Then we have selling, general, administration, research and development. Operating expenses are about $16.3 billion. That puts operating income at $5.6 billion for the quarter they just reported. And I mean, guys, look at the quarter, same quarter last year. It was $10 billion. So their operating income year over year is down 50%. It's cut in half, right? It's gone from 10 bill to 5.5 bill, pretty much cut in half. That is not good, right? And just quarter over quarter, if we're looking at June to September quarter, it went from 8.3 billion to 5.6 billion. So operating income is coming down in a major way for Meta. Again, net income, it's getting hit, EPS getting hit. So you guys can see internally, and I mean, free cash flow per share, I mean, look at that. That's gotten destroyed. That was in the $3.5, $4.5 range, and now it's come down all the way down to about 0.13, which is just pitiful. That's come down a huge amount. Profit margin, operating margin, gross margin, you freaking name it. I mean, it has come down in the past couple of quarters for Meta, which makes it a turnaround story, guys. That is what this makes Meta. Of course, again, it's going through a lot right now with Zuckerberg. They're laying off employees. The metaverse is kind of something that, let's be honest, a lot of people are rejecting. It kind of looks like you guys have seen the graphics. They're not that great. And of course, I mean, it's the beginning of what's trying to be built here with the metaverse. It's still early days, so it's not going to be beautiful, like fantastic and amazing the first year or two of this stuff. It's probably going to take a while, but Zuckerberg's betting big. That's the thing. He wants to be the first mover here, first mover advantage. He's betting big, and it could all work out in the end. It might not. And I feel like he just went way too hard, way too soon. He has to pull back a little bit. I'm not saying stop and dump the metaverse completely, because at some point that could be something that us humans, I mean, we could incorporate in our lives, but is it here quite yet? Probably not. That's the reality. It's not quite here quite yet. And the stocks, it's paying for it. It's paying for that. I don't want to say mistake from Zuckerberg, but just him going way too hard, way too soon. The stock's paying for it. So what do you guys think? And full disclosure, I'm long Meta. I'm down Meta. I'm not scared to say that. I'm down on the stock. I don't know exactly how much I'm down. Percentage-wise, off the top of my head, it's got to be a good 20-30%. So I am down, and I'm going to be buying more. If this thing comes down under 100, again, maybe under 90, I'll buy a little bit more of Meta, and I'm holding for the long term. That's personally what I'm doing. So full disclosure, I'm long. I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm just telling you guys what I'm personally doing. So with that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, get yourself some free money for Moomoo. You get a $10 cash coupon plus up to 15 stocks, each up to $2,000. Just use my link down below, deposit at least $100, and boom, you get some free money. You could also get 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited, and join my Patreon. All those are down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers. Thanks for watching. As always, peace out.